have 26 on this cruise. I think it's a perfect size. We've already booked your air tickets. We've taken care of all the hotel rooms. People are paid in full. And so this is really your last project before we then have those documents ready to go. So this is the brochure. This brochure is also online. And this is, we attached this, I attached it, and I know Nora attached it. So this is a really good reference. If indeed if you can't make a decision tonight and you're preferring to mail it in to the Blue Horizon office, that can be done as well. But if you're pretty sure you've reviewed things and you've got a good idea that what you'd like, I recommend signing up for things now, and then we can always add something if up until, I think we've got like a 30-day break off time. So I would need to have your choices by September 1st. All right. And the other thing that you'll see, and is also on this form, that if you book 2 tours, you get, there's a savings up to 10%. If you book 3 tours, the savings up to 15%. And it is calculated when I actually do the booking for you.
Excuse me, we did not have that.
Yes.
That's special.
No, you didn't.
That's new.
Now, if it's also possible that your cruise was a little less expensive too.
Yeah.
So I think what's fair is fair.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, this is a new program offering for pre-booked excursions. So they're giving you an incentive here. All right. So that was a summary of all the places. So now we're going to talk about Thessaloniki. Now, when you get on the ship on the Saturday, you'll get settled. You'll have dinner. There's certainly going to meet the crew and the
map.
Tour manager or excursion manager, who may also have a presentation. But I think the best thing is the next day is a day at sea. You're cruising the Aegean. You can get familiar with the ship. You can, with our package, all of your beverages, including specialty coffees and specialty drinks and wine and beer, it's all included. So enjoy that, your first day. And during our pre-tour, we are going to be active. So I think having that relaxing day is good. So when we get to Thessaloniki, Nora and I, as we were discussing the focus of this trip and the sponsorship of the Putnam, we felt that there was one tour in particular that really is exceptional. And if you have read about it, and again, I'm kind of standing here, the royal tombs of, is it Virginia?
Virginia.
Would you, because Annika is a museum curator as well. Would you like to just comment on this particular tour?
It was amazing. So obviously it's about Alexander the Great. Now, while Alexander the Great's tomb hasn't been found, the tomb of his father and even some of his children have been found. So here you will get to see some of that, and so much gold. The museum was exquisite, and it actually leads you into the facade of the tomb. So I loved this. This is one of my favorites, except I took it a step further and I did the land of Alexander the Great. So I went to see where he was born. But this, oh my gosh, you are going to love this. If you like dead things in gold, you will love this.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna read the commentary. I will share that on this tour, that our guide was, I think he was a university professor. He was so knowledgeable and, you know, he walked us through the museum as far as pointing out must-sees and then giving us some time. You're able to photograph the whole time you're in the museum. And then after being in the museum, we do continue on to what they call the land of Alexander the Great, and actually the city that he was born in. And there are excavations there. There's some mosaic tiles that are just amazing. So the whole area was awarded a UNESCO World Heritage status as an exceptional testimony to a significant development in European civilization. So that is the one that we have included for everyone. And so we can go through a couple of the other ones just to, if you choose not to get involved with Alexander the Great and his father, Philip II. So why don't we go? Oh, and do you have the code?
Does anyone else, does anyone want to see any of the other tours? Be good with this one.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because it's a level.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna,
That's the difficulty.
it's a level 3.
What difficulty is that? I mean, I have a walker.
So level 3 is described as moderate walking, moderate amount of physical activities such as walking over uneven surfaces
Yeah.
and climbing stairs. Might not be recommended for guests with walking difficulties.
I think like the tombs and the museum will be just fine. It isn't until you get to Pella, where you're actually touring like the archaeological site, that might be a little bit difficult, but it was paved. Well, not paved, but like a gravel.
Yeah. You know, you will have a coach and a coach driver, and the coach is air conditioned. The museum is accessible.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
quite a modern museum, even though it is, well, it is created in the tomb where they found it. And when did they find it? Was it like 1970s or not even that?
I don't remember when they found it, but yes, the museum is very modern and built around the site.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the part you really want to see. Pella is fine. It's great, but. Okay.
Right. So we'll just quickly go through. I can make a few comments. There were some people who took the panoramic Fesnaliki, and what is the activity level for that?
That's another 3.
That's
So the
another
same.
3. I can't see.
It's still hard to see on the screen.
Yeah, okay. And that was more of a walking. Did you do that? Okay,
That's the
Sharon.
one we did. Yeah, because we wanted to see the layout of the area. You know, we'd never been to a place like this before. We just wanted to see kind of, I don't know, a general outlook of what the area was like. And we enjoyed it very much. The tour guide was excellent, telling us about every site that we went to, and it was just a good overview.
Was it on a coach or walking?
Most of it was walking.
Most of it
But
was
it was
walking.
not, but it wasn't a lot of, I mean, it's rated a 3, but there were very few steps. But with uneven surfaces, but, you know, we're not in the US anymore, so you
Right.
expect it. But, it's a really good overview of everything.
Oh,
And we
okay.
saw the White Tower and.
Yeah, the White Tower, and that was, let's go on to the next one. And I don't know, does anybody want to go to the beach? I think we can go on then to the next one. Now, this rich history of famous Greek winery. I did have, one of our participants, Pat Steger and her daughter, Pat, she's not here. She was 90, she was 92 on this trip. And she enjoyed the winery really well. So not a lot of steps at all. They brought the wine right to her. And then her daughter-in-law went with her on that one. And this one, they have they limit the amount of people. They probably, I'm just trying to see where I read it.
6 to 8.
6 to 8 people. So that you can really hear your guide and they just keep pouring the wine, I guess. But she really enjoyed that one.
And this one, for those of you who can't see, is rated level 2 for walking. Easy walking, general walking over an even surface.
Okay. All right. Now, for you foodies, this is the Thessaloniki food on foot. Did anybody do that? No. Okay. As I was reading this, I do like food tours, walking food tours that, they are fun and they take you to various establishments. What is the level on this one?
This one's a higher level. It's level 4, which is hard walking.
Okay. So, you're going to be well fed on the cruise and have a lot of different Greek foods and such. So nobody did this particular one, and with it being a level 4, I think that could. There's probably a lot of walking getting from restaurant to
Move on.
restaurant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Is there a place where it says if the half-day tour is like a morning or an afternoon?
Yeah.
That's I think.
Say up to 3 hours in the morning. There.
Was it on
But it
that
doesn't give
that
a
sheet though?
It doesn't give a time, but it'll tell you 3 hours, 3 hours long, or 6 hour tour. It gives you
Does
exactly,
it say that on here? I didn't see that.
right.
No, they recommend that you only pre-book one tour a day. Now, once we're on the ship, the excursion manager will answer that question because they know, are they staying in dock longer or if they feel that the way it went the last couple prior sailings, there was enough time, but they have advised me to only recommend one tour a day.
So the times that they say that they're gonna be docked for a certain period of time, that's gonna vary
No,
when they leave?
no, but it's more about the tours and the fact that if they say it is a 3-hour tour, but they get caught in traffic or something and they wouldn't want you to have booked two that, well, it said it was supposed to be done at 3:30, but now you show up at 3:50. So that's why they're recommending that you only pick one in advance.
Where is it listed if it's a morning?
Did you find it on the website?
No, I just read through on the copy of each tour.
Yeah.
And it is.
Okay.
The half day.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this sheet it doesn't though. It doesn't say
But
it.
it's
It says half day, but it doesn't.
Yeah. 5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess it really at this point, it doesn't really matter. And I made, once I get in and start booking them, if they have added that information, but since they only want us to book one in advance, and there might, again, the excursion manager may have some flexibility and if you really wanted to do two, they may say, well, then you better do this one before. My memory was the majority of all the tours started in the morning.
Yep.
Like everyone was kind of out the door at 8:30.
Yep.
The only one that's evening is Santorini at.
Yeah.
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 Specifically said.
The
Yeah,
Coquito
that's
one, which I did, was an evening, so I was able to do 2 that day.
Nobody.
So, in Santorini, I did a morning one, which was just a tour of Santorini. And then in the evening, I hiked up a volcano. So yeah, so on that day, I was able to do two, but the volcano one was specifically for the evening.
Right.
Yeah.
And did you book it on board the ship? Because I think we had the same instructions, only book one.
I feel like I did. Yeah.
In reading all of this,
Yeah.
at one point it says anything in the evening that they would make announcements on board
Yeah.
as to times and whatever,
Yeah.
and that would be available.
And I think
I
it's,
remember going up to the counter and asking about that, and I'm pretty sure I just took care of everything then, said, take my credit card, I want to see the volcano.
yeah, I think it's primarily on Santorini and on Mykonos. And I can comment on Mykonos. So here we are in Kusadasi. So let's go to now Kusadasi is the port that we come into. It is quite a modern port. And then all of the tours have got buses that will take us to Ephesus. If you want just to stay in the port, it's very pleasant. There's some nice shops there and restaurants. So if you feel Ephesus is not what you want to do, there is that option. Now, Ephesus is another tour that we felt very strongly about including it as part of this. Again, it's another UNESCO World Heritage Site. Nora, do you want to share anything in particular archaeologically about Ephesus?
Well, Ephesus, as you can see on the screen, its heyday was a bit later.
They
I
will-
like a built like a.
So Ephesus has its heyday a little bit later in Greek history. So its heyday is really in the Hellenistic and Roman period. So this was a area where there was kind of the East meets West because Ephesus is over in modern day Turkey. And so there was a lot of Eastern influence in the Greek colonies that were over there. So there's pretty interesting iconography. For example, the Artemis of Ephesus is a very interesting character. Those of you who are here for the history talk that I did, that was the one that I refused to put a picture up, and I told you to look it up on your own if you want to. So this site I'm very excited about because of the architecture that we're going to see. So there is the Library of Celsus that you get to see. And then also, I believe we're walking the marble way between the villas as well on this tour, right?
I believe, yes.
Yeah, so we'll actually see some Roman architecture as you go. You would talk about
Here.
nature photos in your
Okay,
your
all right.
presentation, so I just want
So that's in Turkey.
We're at that stop.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
Turkey over there.
I guess so.
Okay.
I mean, Ephesus is in Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the one that Linda picked out for us that we decided on, this is a really good tour because it gives you a lot of that history all together. And you're not just looking at one building the entire time, you're actually getting a little bit of variety of what is at that ancient site. And Ephesus was an incredibly popular tourist destination in antiquity. People traveled all over the Roman Empire, from all over the Roman Empire to visit Ephesus. So we're going to be following in their footsteps.
And so Cleopatra and Mark Antony had their honeymoon there, but you left out the best part. Yes, there's a library, but it's right across the street from a whorehouse. Right, this place gets me, right? And cats. Loved it. I loved it. This place was just absolutely gorgeous. I've never seen skies so blue, trees and hills so green. And just, it was the perfect backdrop for these gorgeous ruins.
Can I ask a favor, Annika and Sharon? Will you scoot a little bit closer over here? I think the sound might be better for Sharon and Bill. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, and the other thing that St. Paul spent time in Ephesus and wrote the letter to the Ephesians, but didn't he also write to the Corinthians?
Yes,
And
yes.
so he spent quite a bit of time. And St. John?
I don't remember.
So the tour that, you know, we did include is Ancient Ephesus Through the Ages, and that's this tour right here. And the activity level is?
3, so another moderate walking.
Now, this is one that, you know, luckily we start at the top of a hill and we work our way down. So but you are walking on marble. And that because the streets were paved in marble. And our guides will certainly share all of the sites that you're seeing. There's opportunities for a group photo. This particular tour I felt was the best composite of the best of Ephesus. And it also takes us to the amphitheater, don't? Yeah.
That's where we finished.
Yeah, right. And the interesting thing that only 13% of Ephesus has been unearthed. So there's so much more to the city. Now, was it a volcano or did it just get forgotten because when it silted up, then the port was no longer,
And I
Well,
thought
the
earthquakes.
Earthquake.
there was an
I think
earthquake?
the answer to everything in this region is earthquake. Yeah.
And malaria. I take notes. And my note about the cats is they have to have those to take care of the vermin. True. And, yes, we did the one before this. When
Oh,
you
the
were
one with
scrolling.
Yeah, with the House of Mary.
Because, but it does a lot of the one we just talked
Yeah.
about.
Right.
Because you still we saw the library and the house and, the marble paved roads and everything. So we got to do both of it, but the House of Virgin Mary was just, I don't know, one of those things, you know, us Presbyterians had to be part of.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and we just, as we were looking at the tours, we thought that, I mean, this one, you don't have as much time in Ephesus because you are going to another location where the House of Virgin Mary. So we chose a different one that would be more archaeologically complete. So this is the one that we have included. If you choose to book something else, I can work with you. We just felt this was a wonderful experience. Now there is an add-on when you are in Turkey, that every tour gives you an opportunity to see Turkish rugs made. And you just have to either go for the entertainment or seriously look at the rugs. And then you have to learn how to negotiate. And really, whatever price they start at, you have to drop it by 50%.
Yep.
And then you negotiate. They are beautiful.
They'll give you some ouzo to, you know, do things. Yeah. I mean, stuff to figure it out. But in Istanbul, fell in love, I got laid. With a carpet, loved it. I have no regrets.
And see, ours was at the end of our
Yeah.
Virgin Mary tour, and it was a Weaver school. And it was really interesting for them to talk about their school, because they want to bring girls, mostly girls, but they start them at 16. And you start with little projects, and you would work, like if Annika was an advanced person and me a beginner, then I would work with her. And some of the rugs that they worked on, there would be 3 or 4 people in a line working on the same rug. So I have to do the same thing that she does, that does the same thing that Linda does, you know, on down the line. But to hear how they run the school was so interesting.
Yeah.
And I was a teacher, so, you know, that that part of the school thing I really like. But what they really want to do is to keep this as one of their cultural, whatever you want to call it, you know, kind of to keep people interested in it as a project. It's not, you know, just go to Kmart, buy this.
Yeah.
We bought a runner that's 12 feet by 3.5 probably. It's in our hall, and nobody comes in our house without commenting on it. How'd you guys?
They ship it.
They ship it.
Yeah, it was great.
They ship it to a central location, and I think it's in Chicago. And then they have a representative that delivers. And for not just our tour, but, you know, it seems to me they came in, 2 months or so?
Yeah, it was quick. It was, I didn't wait long.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the representative will message you, and he'll text you. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
And he also has extra ones in his van if you happen to want to look at it.
Okay. And if you want just a little bit of Turkish rug, you can just buy like a rug about the size of one of these squares here. I mean, they're not gonna start showing you the little ones, but if bottom line, that's what you want, you can buy it, they'll give it to you and you can put it in your suitcase. And I have seen these framed and they are spectacular. So if you like a particular design, but you don't need a big rug, it's fun. You had a question, Steve.
Yes. So it mentions the Museum of Ephesus. Will this include that? In the one paragraph, it says the finds from the excavations.
Oh, they're located in isn't it Selkirk?
That's what it says.
Yeah, and we don't go there.
Okay,
We don't go to Selkirk.
just curious. And then the other thing is, I would just say that the walk through Ephesus downhill is surprisingly steep. It can be very slick, so you need to choose your shoes very wisely. Hiking boots would be a great choice.
Ah,
Yeah. Or like you don't want like a full hiking boot, but certainly like an off-trail shoe, not like a smooth running shoe. Yeah, something with a little bit of grip. Yeah, no smooth flat bottoms. Have something with a little bit of, yeah,
right.
yes.
Walk back up the hill then.
No.
No, your coach will be waiting for you. At the bottom of the hill is the amphitheater where St. Paul did preach. And the acoustics there are spectacular. And there's I was surprised how many pine trees were around.
Yeah.
It was quite shady. And it was really a beautiful setting, and you can get some great pictures for your Shutterfly book.
Also, I really loved the gift shop at this site, books and jewelry.
Yes.
Linda, can you stay on the coach, like have the coach drive up and you can just see it? And then right in the coach, go back down and wait for the group?
We did have a couple of people do that at several of the sites.
Yes,
Yeah,
we did.
yeah,
Walking past the amphitheater to the library, that's flat
yeah,
and better footing.
right.
Huh?
And I don't want to scare anybody off, the city street. They're just good shoes.
Good shoes,
Yeah.
and know that it's marble. And it's, I mean, it's amazing how opulent that city was in its era, and it's still, it still is. Something I found amazing is the library, the Celsius Library. Is this part? No, that's not part of it.
No.
I guess there's not a picture here. They still allow, she's got pictures of the Celsius Library. They still allow people to go up and explore. I'm surprised, but they allow it and so you would have the opportunity if you want to explore closer. So again, I'm not going to read all of that, but that is the one that we have included for you. All right, and then so there are some other tours that this walking in the footsteps of the legends. Oh, there's the library. There's the library, and then there is a great theater. And both of those are going to be a part of our tour. And this just is a different walking tour. I think you're going to still have, you see what the,
It's the same as the other one, is moderate.
okay. So I would say if you can handle it, do the tour that we've already included. All right, let's move on. Now, this is a different one. I mean, this is ancient Ephesus and the terrace houses. The description is a little different. The guide's going to focus possibly more on the terrace houses and some of the mosaics at the terrace house. And you're going to see the terrace houses, but you're not going to have the in-depth because we did choose the other tour.
And this one is rated hard for the hard walking.
And I don't know that anybody needs to go to the water park. We have no kids. So, and it would be a shame for you to go on a buggy safari when you could go to Ephesus. So we're not allowing this.
Yeah, another day I would have done that.
Yeah, I bet you wouldn't. Now this, we have our own archaeologists with us on this tour, so why would you want to go with theirs and pay more?
And this is another one that's rated hard.
Yeah, so this was another option that you would be walking with an archaeologist, but you've got your Putnam archaeologist, so why not walk with Nora?
I'll be right there with you.
Okay, so now we're where your worksheet.
This next
Starts.
stop is down here.
And
Okay.
Heraklion is also Crete. And so I'm going to call it Crete. And we have two museum curators here, and I'd like both of them to comment on Knossos and why Knossos is an exceptional site. So who wants to start?
Which
I
one
actually
did we
did go here.
choose?
We did the Cretan countryside, wine and dancing.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right.
That's right. I forgot.
We did the,
So
They're talking
This
about this top
palace-
one
remember,
right now.
this is a palace that was
We
built during
chose
the
the third
Bronze
one.
Age. So you may remember, for those of you who attended the history lesson that we did, most people in the Greek world, when this palace was built, were living in 1 or 2 room domiciles, probably huts or very small houses. And then the people of Crete, the Minoans, built a multi-story palace with columned levels with running water and plumbing. The leap forward in advancement of architecture and technology in this palace is staggering. And this was all done when most people were either nomadic or living in huts. I mean, it is an absolute testament to the abilities of the Minoans and the resources that the Minoans had. And the thing that I've always loved about the Minoans is that they're still a bit mysterious to us. So far, no one has successfully translated their written language, Linear A. And the frescoes are still very much open to interpretation. There's a very famous bull leaping fresco that people still argue about the meaning of, and that will be available in the museum. So the excursion where you go to the palace, you then go to the museum. That's the one that I personally am choosing. And I'm excited about this because the palace is, of course, architecture. But here's the thing, Sir Arthur Evans, when he excavated this palace in the 1800s, he did a lot of reconstruction that was very much open to his own interpretation. So some of the reconstruction of this palace is probably not 100% accurate. So going to see the actual artifacts in the museum is going to probably teach you a heck of a lot more. The architecture is still staggering, but the reconstructed parts do have a lot of room for error. But seeing the artifacts in the museum is what I'm really excited about.
So after our wine and dancing in the morning, I stayed on the island and I did go visit the museum in my free time and I really enjoyed it. So I had the best of breed. Yeah. You'll love it.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk to you about the one she went, well, that all three of us went on. All right, so the activity level for this one?
3, same as the others, moderate.
Okay, all right. So there's several tours that include kenosis. Let's go on to the next one here. So each of these has a little different focus, and their guide is going to zero in on, in this case, it was the first European civilization. Now I do want to see if this one includes going to the museum.
I don't believe so.
And that's probably why you don't want to go to this one.
Well, yeah, I was looking at this last night. The trade-off is this one, you spend more time at the palace and you see more rooms of the palace. So, yeah, it's a tough decision, but for me, I want to see the artifacts. So the museum is, I like the combo. Yeah.
And this activity level is?
A 3.
This is also a 3. Okay. All right, then we're gonna move on to experience the
one is
Grecian
what?
countryside and lifestyle. And this is where I'm gonna have Annika talk as well as Sharon about their experience.
Good looking Cretan dancers. We got up and joined. They gave us ouzo, and what was the other famous?
Rocky?
one? Yes.
Rocky.
Tried both. I had a great time.
It should be a low level.
It's also 3.
No, it's not.
Well, because at the beginning, we did walk through olive groves. They grow them there, but they send them someplace
We
else to be
walked through
processed.
an olive grove.
Yes, we did.
In the middle of the mountain range. There's a village for winemaking and the Rocky Distillery.
Yeah.
They say Rocky is medicinal because it burns all the way down.
Yeah.
And lots of olive oil. We bought olive oil there and it was wonderful. I wish I'd have bought more. I don't know why it would. I don't know. I thought because it was fresh. I don't know, but it was.
What I do remember about
I just put it in.
about this is that we got to drive beyond Kenosis, beyond the main city, and we got to see some of the countryside.
Yeah.
And then we stopped at this one farm and met the owner, and he shared his story as far as there was a time when, I guess it was when the Ottomans were there, that the Greeks and the Turks were all one country. And so his family actually had lived in the current Turkey. And then when the Ottoman Empire was divided, because he was Greek Orthodox, he was kicked out of Turkey. And it was probably his father, and sent back into to the island here to Crete, and they started cultivating their olives and grapes So he had quite an interesting story to tell us, and he was eager to show us how Rocky is made. And
He was like Carrie.
yeah, he was. Then he invites you into his, now the home has been added on to so that they can do some entertainment. So we were at tables where there was bread and cheese and I think some sliced meats. And then big bottles of the Rocky or the wine or, and then they had entertainment. Now, for people with mobility issues, I think our guide could help accommodate, could get the coach closer up
Yeah.
and be able to get you inside into a table. I just think that we could make this work. It is
We
fun.
drove up the hill.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah.
didn't walk it.
No, but there were steps in the
Yeah.
building.
right. Yeah, I mean, if you could handle a few steps, I think we could get you to a table early on and you wouldn't have to listen to the demonstration on
Yeah.
Rocky. But do you think?
It's definitely doable.
Yeah, but remember, they don't have OSHA rules and stuff, so
Right.
there are no railings and things like that, but
But there's fine-looking young gentlemen.
there, yes, yes.
And they had a very nice gift shop. And the locals who was in the countryside traditional, and the dancing that they did was amazing. And then they would encourage some of us to go dance. I think you danced, I think I danced.
Yeah, we did. After the Uzo and the, I didn't like either the Uzo or the Rocky. Yeah.
But you
the
still
wine-
like to dance.
Yeah. But all the wine I had was great. So,
So
And
that,
you can buy olive wood spoons. They're really.
and then then when we finished, we got back to where the ship was, the port. And then we still had some time.
Yeah,
Well, you went to the museum, didn't you?
yes, I went to a museum, the one where all the artifacts are, really great collection. And after that, I just kind of wandered around the town. I found a church of Saint Titus. There was some relics there. So again, if you like dead people, yes, someone's head was there. I think it was Saint Titus's head. And then I found some gelato, and overall, I just had a very pleasant afternoon.
And we went to the Basilica of Saint Mark, Cathedral of Agius Minus, lots of shopping. Old markets, lots of cathedrals. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else they are offering. Now, Venetian curriculum and the unique archaeological museum. Now, the Venetians, that was a lot later, right? A lot later. But to be able to see some of their architecture, and then of course also getting to go to the museum. And what is the activity level there?
Same, 3.
3. Okay. So Crete is Greece's largest island and the birthplace of Zeus. And our tour enables us to find out more of the important period when the Venetians were there and explore the jewels in the crown of the capital. Did you have anything additional there?
If I recall correctly, didn't we drive by the mount that Zeus was born on?
Pointed it
I
out?
think so, right?
Maybe Mount Fitness.
I mean, I'll check my map, but I'm pretty certain we drove by it.
Okay. So this is, I think that your guide is going to focus more on the Venetian era and even into the Ottoman occupancy and pointing out some other items because this is one of the oldest locations, archaeological locations. So again, in the museum, the guide would be focusing more on that era and pointing things out. So that is another alternative. And then another one here, Knossos Palace and the Cretan landscapes. And the activity level is
At 3.
at 3.
That's just Crete altogether, I guess. It seems pretty,
Yeah.
pretty moderate.
Now, this one, it looks like, from the description, it is focusing more on the Minoans. And of course, getting to Knossos, does it get, yes, it does get to the museum too. So, if from reading this description and zeroing in on what's important for you as far as learning more about the Minoans, that's going to be your choice. Okay,
Linda.
yes.
See that is one. She.
Nine.
But then you can't do it.
That's interesting.
We have, put it on foot and the beach transfer. We did not know that.
Well, now what I don't know is, at least when I was working on this, it could be that they aren't offering this one, because as far as I know, this worksheet was accurate and it's still on their website. So
Page 23.
Page.
is it So it is
It's not
listed.
on here. Well,
23,
then move on.
but on their
It is here.
it's not listed on the price sheet.
See?
Yeah, I mean, if this one really was the one you wanted, I'd be happy to, you write it on your form. And I'd be happy to double check. If you want to put that as your first choice and then another one as the second. They tell me, they still reserve to not offer every tour, but my guess is that they're not going to change the website. It's just too much to change it. But if this is really the one you want, please put it on your form. Okay, we're gonna move on. Now, this is the foodie one again. And as I said, I have enjoyed walking food tours, and I'm sure this is a 3 or a 4.
It's a 4.
It's a 4. It's a 4. And it's probably because they're going to be taking you to a variety of places that may not have railings, may have a number of steps. And I don't know if they limit the amount of people, but just know it is listed as a 4. But I'm sure it would be, when I saw all the things, it's like, how many items? 12. Oh, you have herbal tea, variety of cheeses, olives, Greek custard pie with phyllo, delicious men's, I'm not sure what a Menzi dish is, paired with local wine and Cretan Rocky, as well as street food. And all the while admiring the stunning scenery. So if you're into food, this would be a good consideration. Let's move on. And this is another one of the beach activities. You
Move
can't
on.
sign up for the beach activities on this form. I think that we just put, you have to book on board. It all depends on the waves and the location where the beach is. So we're not going to sign up for that right now. Let's move on. Santorini. Now, in Santorini,
That's this one
we
here.
do use what they call tenders. And tenders are small boats because our ship cannot they don't have a harbor. And part of that is because the island, what's left of the island is the result of earthquake.
Volcano.
Oh, volcano, that's right, volcano. And that's what makes it so interesting. But the harbor thus has a little issue. So, there are lots of varieties of,
What did you
of the
choose?
tours, and if you were reading these, each one has something a little bit different. And the activity level for this is
A two.
a
We don't
two,
have
because
one
this
marked
is
on this.
more,
No,
you
we're
spend
talking
more
about
time on a
Santorini.
coach.
Athens
On
is
this
not
one.
the
Oh, okay.
And,
And so
it
we're
does
the
take you
second one.
by
Mhm.
landscapes and the
And she's still
whitewashed
talking about the
houses.
first one.
Um, and it does take you up to Oya, I think that's what it is, village, which is perched on top of
No,
the
we took-
caldera. So for some
We
great
took the fourth one.
shots.
We might
Oh,
want
the
to
fourth.
do, yeah, we might want to
And
do.
then,
the,
but you first start
if
in
we
this
can, but
small village of Megalopera. Did one of you do this tour? Does this one look familiar?
I did.
You did, okay.
I did, and I did not enjoy it. I'm being very serious. I did not enjoy it. We had a horrible tour guide, which is really unfortunate because there's a lot of beautiful buildings here. And she was just like, she was walking super fast. She'd be like, "There's a school. There's a park." It was really unfortunate because everyone raves about Santorini and how gorgeous it is, and it is, but I didn't learn anything about it. Yeah,
Well, that's good to know.
yeah. I did put in a bad review for the tour guide, so I'm hoping you won't.
Was this the day?
I did the morning one, and then in the evening I did the volcano.
Okay, well, there's the testing
Yeah,
there.
sorry.
And then let's
Yeah.
go on to the next one here. Oh, you are, okay.
My notes I have Santorini is made up of 14 villages. The entire population is 20,000. Has 5 islands. The last volcanic eruption was in 1950. It has a cable car to take us back to the tenders. It was donated by a very rich family in 1982. Before that, the only way down was to walk the 588 steps down or ride a donkey. You could still do that.
I had some of my students on a different trip do the donkey, and they loved the donkey. So I would do that if you have that out. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
88.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, something that we also learned that the nice thing, the Celestial stays on this island, I think until like 2 a.m.
Yes.
And there is this funicular that can take you down, well, up and down, but usually the morning tours have buses and they take you to your destinations, but you take the funicular down. And the recommendation is don't rush to go down because some of the other big cruise ships and they're there a shorter period of time, that their tours stop and they're told that you have to be on the ship by, I don't know, 4 o'clock. And so then there was this long line of people from other cruise ships needing to get there. And so I remember our tour manager said, just go get a coffee, go just enjoy. And the views from some of these restaurants are exceptional. So now this is the cruise to Santorini's islands and volcanoes. So I think
Yes.
we're going to hear
Okay.
about this.
This was actually my favorite part of the whole trip. And it's something that normally I wouldn't choose to do because I like the history and the nerdy stuff.
Which
But
one
yeah,
are we
it's
talking
a
about?
little hike
The one we
to the
chose?
top of the
No.
volcano. The geologist was pretty hot. There were hot rocks. I mean, it was a good time. It was really great. After around and you get to this place where there's a hot spring and you can jump in. I didn't know that you could jump in, so I did not have a swimsuit. I said, when is the next time I'm going to be able to hop into the Aegean? So I took off my pants and I was wearing the worst pair of underwear I had, you know, like, and I didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't know anyone there. I was never going to see him again. I hopped in and I just had the time of my life. On my map, I put a little pants symbol where I jumped in. And I hope that when I die, this is going to be one of the things that flashes before my eyes. I loved it. I loved everything about it. And again, this was something I normally would not have chosen, but I loved it. Yeah. Oh, and a yacht club invited me to join their, yeah. I don't know, they're from Florida. It was great. I made friends.
Well, and then, but then you also, after the cruise, you go up into Fira, which is, if it's still open, well, there would be
I did
open
not
for
do
shop.
that. I
You
did
didn't?
not, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
Well,
didn't need to, but I loved it. Yeah. I mean, you like on this island, you can see steaming rocks. And the guy, the geologist, he's a trained geologist. He is whipping out his meat thermometer and he is like, he probably stole it from his wife, but like, it was just a really cool experience. Yeah.
all right.
How is it rated?
This is a 4, so it's harder.
I think the hike is about a mile. Yeah, maybe less. We stopped 3 times. I was the youngest one in the group. But you know, I'm not physically fit. I'm a scholar, not an athlete. So, you know, I did stop a couple of times to take pictures. No one was any wiser. It was, it's totally doable. Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
too.
it was great. It was. I really encourage you to do this.
All right. Okay.
Go back.
I wish.
Well, she's getting more involved with travel, so we'll see where she shows up next. Okay, what's next here? Okay, now this I know is the tour that
That's a
Nora's
one-way
doing,
show.
so I'm gonna have you come up and tell us about this one.
Okay, so Akrotiri, a Bronze Age site. The volcano, when it erupted in what, 1630, 1650?
Sure.
Yeah.
Everything happened in 1650s.
There we go. Yeah, 16, thank you very much. So when the volcano erupted, it preserved this town. This is the Pompeii of Greece. So this is a village frozen in time. Now, something I'm really looking forward to with this one is some of the preserved frescoes, and also just seeing kind of the picture of an everyday life. So this isn't a palace. This isn't the royalty in the court. This is the real everyday people, their homes and how they lived. And so I'm just so gosh darn excited about this one. Let's see, how's this one rated? I didn't look at it before I walked over my computer screen. Okay.
Yes, 3.
Three. Okay, so it's the same as everything else so far that we've talked about, except for the hard ones. But yeah, this one, if you're looking for that slice of history, if you're looking for, in my opinion, a once in a lifetime experience to see a village quite literally frozen in time, I would recommend doing this.
All right.
And Linda, I do have a question about this. So this one did say tour may not be available at certain times of year. When would we know from Celestial whether or not it's available?
Well, when I go to book it,
Okay.
and if, I'd be surprised it's not, but,
I'm bracing myself just in case, but I'm obviously hoping that we do get to do something.
yeah. Okay, let's see what's next. The essence of Santorini. And the level on this one is
Easier.
This is the one that we're,
And this is one we did.
all right. Do you want to share what your numbers are?
everything that you've seen so far, we did, because it's a full day and we drove around the whole island. And so we were up and down and over and around, but, you know, it would be like a 10-minute drive and then we'd get out and walk around. Then we get back in. So we were in and out and in and out. So it wasn't like a boring long ride because you got in and out a lot, but it was easy walking. But we saw all the things that you're talking about here. And again, one of the things I thought was was important, because I like statistics. There are no street names in the towns.
Oh, yeah.
They have 350 churches on the island.
Wow.
The whitewashed buildings are kept, the buildings are whitewashed every year. Keep them white, and they use an antibacterial material in the paint or the whitewash so that it repels mosquitoes. The blue domes are a tribute to the Virgin Mary. We visited a Greek Orthodox church. Lots of the panoramic drives, because you're on top of the island. I mean, you're just truly overlooking the ocean almost anywhere you are. So that was really interesting. Lots of lava rocks, curvy roads. If you've been in the backwoods of Wisconsin, they had some of those. We tasted several wines, some more churches, the highest peak, the Capitol. We went there. We went to a horse stable. I mean, we did a whole variety of things. So if you like a variety of things, this is a really good one to do.
And this was the full day one.
This is a full day.
And really, if for everyone, this, you know, have a good breakfast and plan that you're gonna be eating on the island because of the tenders. You don't want to go back to the ship for lunch. So I'm sure you had a break. So that
We had breadsticks and ham. We had cheese and olive. We had a cheese and olive tasting area. We had pizza. There you go.
that was included in your tour?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good one.
It was really good. And there's a little bit of shopping. Oh, we had some chocolate. Oh, that's how you get to get by.
So the photo of the cable cars, that's the totality of cable cars. All down.
Yeah, that's right.
So the line is gonna be very, very good.
And that's where you want to stop and have a glass of wine or coffee and wait
Yeah.
until the.
Because we're very lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's fun when you're on the cable car to watch the donkeys come down the.
Right, you just, you go right over the path with the donkeys.
Part of it, yeah.
Mhm.
And they're kind of cute though.
They are.
All right, moving on here. Well, another beach, we cannot,
We may have.
I can't pre-book the beach
Yeah.
for you, so we'll move along here. Okay, so hiking to the ultimate beauty of Oya. And what level is this?
This is a 4.
4. So I would say enjoy the pictures here.
Good Lord.
Well, if you go on the essence of Santorini, you're gonna be there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have to walk.
Yeah. And, you know, I, of all the things to do, if you're only on the island one day, I know hiking is important, but I would say that if you can do the essence and then maybe do that evening volcano one
Loved
that
it.
you were able
Loved
to.
it.
to do.
I have the map if you want to see or have more information about the volcano. So, but I loved it.
Now, this one is interesting that they don't offer this one in July and August, I'm sure, because of the heat. Yeah. Yeah. So, if hiking is your gig, then go for it. And I think we're gonna move on here. Music and mystical, or music myths and history. Did anybody do this one? Okay,
It's so easier walking.
right?
I wonder, this.
And it looks like it is,
I don't think anyone in our group did it, and I don't see it on our.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it's on the bottom here. It's,
On our.
oh, on ours,
This
okay.
one might be new.
It could be, it could be.
Yeah, because I.
So, it's gonna take you, looks like, into a village where you're going to be able to, relax, calm, and of course have some local musicians performing, wander through the remains of a Venetian fortress and see the historical 18th century monastery. And see the views, and then you're gonna travel to this village. And then we head to the Symposium of Music and Mythology Cultural Center. And with a narration and 15 handcrafted
If nobody
string
chose it,
So
why
that could
spend
be
so
a
much time
nice
on it?
home. And this is a 2, right? All right. Okay, then we're gonna move on. Well, here's a taste of wine and tradition. This looks like another, what level is this?
3.
A 3. And
I feel like when there's wine involved, they up the difficulty. I'm just saying. Not really good. I don't think so. If you're sober.
well, it starts with the walking tour, to see the architecture. And then you're gonna stroll through the remains of a Venetian fortress. That is. And a monastery that looks like it's normally closed, but is open for the tour. Then you go to the winery, the oldest winery on the island. And, we go to 2 wineries. Wow. Enjoy a range of varietals, learning of the island's unique viticulture. And then you end up, in Fira for shopping. After you've had your wine, that you'll have some good shopping opportunities.
Yeah. You can go.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, we've got a question for Sharon.
In Century 2 years ago, and I waited over 2 hours for the funicular to go talk to the
Yeah.
something.
I'll have to leave a little before 8 your
Yeah.
time and watch the remainder from the recording.
For the trip that you
At
were
that time,
on
okay.
day, did you take the funicular?
Okay.
No, because the bus took us to the
top.
somehow.
Yeah.
So we started at the
Yeah.
top.
And then, way back down, I did the funicular and I did not wait 2 hours.
No.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people there that
Yeah.
day.
Maybe 20 minutes
If
at the
that.
most.
Yeah.
That we waited to get there.
Yeah.
And this was late.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And that's where the big cruise ships, and that's the one. That was the essence. Yeah. Yes. Okay, what do we have going on here?
Something Karen and Miller is saying that they might have to, leave early, but they're gonna have to report.
Okay, if you have to go, we understand. All right, so we've done the taste of wine and tradition, and now we're on to Mykonos.
Okay.
Okay. And there's all sorts of options in Mykonos. In Mykonos, we are also
Mykonos is
taking
up at the top of
tenders,
that curve.
but they're bigger
Okay.
tenders, and because they're actually off of our ship, so they're like the lifeboats. And they can move people pretty quick.
They aren't like the lifeboats. They
so
are the
here's
lifeboats.
the activity level on this one.
2, easy.
Which
Okay,
one
two.
did we
So this
choose
is,
here?
again, a coach would be
We have
picking
it
you up
marked. Oh, the last one.
from Mykonos
Oh, the
town.
last one.
And
And then there's only one
you'll
other one.
visit
Mhm.
colorful
And
beach.
we chose which
And then
one
on,
then?
I guess, go to see the beach at
You and Norm
Galapagos?
did the first one
Galapagos?
and
Okay,
Then you return
okay.
to Chora, and see a village. Again, I think this is gonna be more of a panoramic, and get a chance to see some of the really beautiful houses and the old, windmills, which now, some of them are being converted into Airbnbs. And then, getting into, a village square where you can take a break, have a coffee. And then, let's see, then they'll take you to folklore museum and to see some of artifacts of, furniture and such. And then you end up in Little Venice, which is right on the water. And again, there's little coffee shops, clothing shops, but little tiny, but that's a nice place to wander. I do remember about Little Venice that it's narrower streets and a little harder to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to Delos, the Sacred Island and Apollo Sanctuary. Now,
We did this.
we
one.
did that.
Yeah.
Can you, all
Yeah.
three of us
Yeah.
did that. Would you explain the importance of Delos?
It's a fabulous archaeological site. And it's actually a really large site with, so much to see, but it's famous for the lion. And there is a sanctuary for Apollo there, and it was just gorgeous. Like, the movie Troy, right? Where he's picking out the shells from the sea and his mom's gonna make him a necklace. That's what this place looks like. It is that gorgeous. I've never seen water so blue in my whole life. And just everywhere you turn, there is a picturesque scene of a ruin and a great story to go with it.
Now,
This
it
is
starts with a cruise. I mean.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, you're cruising
Round
by
trip,
all the
yeah.
islands, and this is definitely my top three. Ephesus and Alexander the Great, and then this one definitely top three. Yeah,
It's a 30-minute ride.
yeah,
The level on this one.
yeah. The thing of it is you're going through like the whole ruin. But there is a little kind of like a visitor center there. So even yeah, museum, yes. We
But it's
didn't
been
get to see it.
closed for
Yeah,
5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you just like go to the
Once-
island and you
how
sit
about
there,
if I
you can
text
still
Margaret and
see
say
a
we're
lot
ready
of it.
anytime?
Yes,
You don't
that's fine.
necessarily need to be in the little rock hut to enjoy the beauty of this.
And the cruise is just.
Oh, the cruise was great too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I was on the same tour with Sharon, and we had a guide that he was.
He was a little long-winded.
Yes.
I'll say it. I'll say it. I'm a talker.
Oh, we couldn't get from the first monument, but then once we moved along, but there are uneven surfaces.
Yes.
That if you just want to enjoy the cruise and then stay on the main level area, you
Yeah.
probably could see the lions and
Yes.
not go much further.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what you want?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I felt like a kid in a candy shop. I just wanted to run all over the place and explore.
And there are 2 caretakers that live on the island. And
I
that's
forgot
it.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there are tons of cats
Yeah.
to keep the
Have her
wildlife in
text
check.
us
Um,
when they,
Sometime during the
Yeah,
year, there
this
are archaeologists that come in primarily from France. And they're still working on reconstruction of the site. So it's work in progress kind of thing. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site for both mythological and historic.
Now, again, Mykonos is one of those islands that we stay late, like till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Now, I signed up for this one and I did this one in the morning, but they did offer a second tour and it'll come up in a second here and it included a dinner. So,
Are you talking about the see the best of Mykonos in one day?
no,
Oh, okay.
no,
The only negative I had was our boat ride back from the island. The weather was changing and the water was very choppy. I tend to get motion sickness. So we didn't do anything when we got back for a couple of hours because my stomach was.
Okay, then
okay, well,
let's,
that's good to know, if you have some motion
Close.
sickness.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Okay. So this, now I hope it's on our list
It
here.
is, if that's okay.
Okay. What I liked about the Maconian dinner is that we did start out in the Little Venice area. And we did a walking tour and pointing out, some of the sites. We didn't go to any shops or anything, but we saw the windmills and we had photo ops and saw quite a few of the churches and we had a really good guide for this one. And then they put us on a coach and we went to the other side of the island to this restaurant that they had a spit and they were they had lamb and chicken and probably beef. And we could smell it as we came in. And then they had some entertainment. They had a gentleman that was dancing with a glass of wine on his head. And the meal, the meal was included. The only thing we paid extra for was a wine. And then the sun had already set. So when we were driving back, we were able to see lights on some of the local churches. It was a really pleasant experience, and I was able to add that on because it didn't start like until 5.
Why didn't I do that?
I don't know.
I wandered the island by myself. I went to see the windmills at sunset. I found an Italian restaurant. I had some good pizza, and I just wandered around the shops. I found a really unique little place where they sold religious icons, so I bought one for my brother. I just had a great time wandering around at night by myself, exploring like all the fun narrow paths and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just needed to be by myself.
Well, and again, because the tenders are actually the boats or the lifeboats, and they're huge.
Yeah.
That I don't know if they had a schedule or.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you'd stay as long as you wanted to stay. So, I would recommend this if you want to enjoy some, and it had a very nice salad and grilled vegetables, and then the meat on the spit was outstanding. All right. We'll move on. Oh, now here is a foodie tour. Now, what is
This is hard. This is a 4.
okay, so their food tours, they really make you work for your food. Whereas the other one was, yeah. So let's see. So they start with a cheese pie at a bakery, and then you go to the windmills and the cobblestone streets of Little Venice. And then you get to taste souvlaki, pork with pita bread. Then what else? Oh, some mastic liqueur. And then a Greek vanilla spoon sweet. Last but not least, sit at a local venue and relax with a glass of ouzo with snacks, like the locals. And this is a day.
Sun-dried octopus, the snack.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't see that one. Now, this is a daytime tour, so this would be the one that you'd sign up for. Okay, moving on. Okay, now this is a little different, isn't this? Sacred Delos and Rainier Island. Now, this is the one that we did, is it?
We didn't get to do the island.
Yeah. So it's pretty expensive too.
Yeah.
So maybe the Sacred Island needs a donation or something.
Right.
So we heard about Delos and then, next follows in. After visiting the exquisite archaeological site of Delos, we will then sail straight to the mesmerizing beaches and crystal clear waters of the island of Renia, where you can go swimming. Or snorkeling. Oh, okay. All right. So everything that Annika said about Delos
And
plus
Yeah.
snorkeling. All right. Okay, let's move on. See the best of Mykonos in one day. Is that the one that you were commenting on?
Well, yeah, this one, I was looking at because you get to, go to the Apollo Sanctuary in the morning and do the archaeological site. And then they take you the rest of the day, they feed you lunch, and then you get to see all these other things as you go. So after lunch, pay a visit to the lovely 16th century monastery dedicated to Virgin Mary. There's a guided walking tour. You go through the tiny streets. There's also shopping, if I remember correctly. So this seems like it's a full day. But I'm actually pretty tempted by this because you get to be there, so then you get to the,
So they actually, they take you to Delos as well.
This sounds like a win.
Wow.
Yeah.
it's a little bit of everything, and it's moderate. It's a three. So, but you'll be out all day. The previous one was a full day too.
Yeah. And I think it makes sense when you have to take the tenders, you're gonna have to have a tour that either gives you a lunch break or do that for yourself. That's all
Yeah,
right.
you won't have a problem finding food here.
No, I don't think we will. Let's move on here. Oh, another beach one that we can't book, so let's move on. Another beach that we can't book. Now, anybody into mosaics? Okay, this does sound quite interesting. And what's the
Moderate.
Yeah.
Three.
Yeah,
We also-
yeah. To learn the art of mosaic making. And of course, when I think about the mosaics that you're gonna see, like when you do the Philip's tomb
Everywhere.
and everywhere that
Yeah.
they're still in existence. An artist will be giving lessons and you'll be able to create your own work. And then what else? Oh. Now, I think what it's saying is that on Delos, you'll see mosaics, but you're not going there. After your wonderful, peaceful, creative mosaic experience, there is time to wander around Mykonos town or sit, enjoy coffee, a leisurely cup of coffee. That looks great. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Home cooking and hospitality. I don't think anybody in our group did it, but
That's not.
We didn't.
it wasn't
Yeah.
available. Oh, they do have some new.
Yeah.
What's the activity one?
They don't.
Ah,
I'm guessing it's easy.
it must be easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hospitality.
Yeah.
Uh,
Level fork.
So, food and drink is an important part, and that's the essence of life. So the locals on the island of Winds are proud and passionate about their way of life. You're gonna be hosted by, in a homestead or a spitty for a fun Greek cooking class and some speaking.
Speedy.
All right.
That layer thing.
Okay.
House.
Oh, okay. All right. This does sound interesting too. So you're gonna get a tour of the kitchen and the garden. And you're gonna cook. Well, bring some back. All right, that does sound fun. All right, moving on. Milos. All right. Our last island, and it is really very, very few cruises go to Milos, and it's a shame because it is quite historic and amazing bluffs over the beach. Step back in time. Did either of you do that?
We did.
Would you
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that?
Cause you did that. Yes, cause we did that way.
I did most of our ritual. Anywho, so Milos is important because this is where they found the very famous sculpture, the Venus de Milos. So they take you to the spot where she came out of the earth, which is very exciting for me because, you know, art history is my jam. And then pirates.
It was a lot of walking.
Yes,
It was a
yes,
lot of-
yes.
And you go down into some catacombs.
Oh, yes, the catacombs. Yes.
If you've been to Rome, these are not those kind of catacombs.
No dead things.
No, and it's kind of a hole in the wall, but it's really interesting. It's a cool hole. Yeah, it's a cool hole.
But there are steps to get
Yes,
to
like
the
I
end.
said.
Yeah.
Now, that's the
easy back up
religious
back.
one. There is the same tour that's the non-religious that does not include the catacombs.
But we, because we were on a bus and we went to the bakery and had some really good cheese tarts.
Yes, yes, we did.
Went, to where the Venus de Milo.
And there was also this really fantastic beach. It looked like you landed on the moon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I-
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I took my shoes off and I stepped in the water. I mean, I kept my pants on.
It's also an area that had something to do with World War II because they were hiding in the caves.
Ammunition. Yeah,
Yeah, the caves, on this,
yeah,
I don't know, what do you call it, cove, I
yeah,
guess.
it would, yes,
And you could go into the caves a little ways.
yeah,
But, again, it's all this white sand beaches kind of thing, but nothing's level.
no,
I mean, it's lots of up and down and over and around and little alcoves into here. It's beautiful, but it's completely different than anything else that we
yes,
saw.
very different.
Right. So there are two versions of basically the tour. One includes, I think, the catacombs and explanations about the early Christians. They were really still being persecuted there. And so when a family member would die, they wanted to find a burial location that the locals would not steal. So on the religious one, they're going to tell some of that history, but I think the rest of the tour, going to the bakery and going to the beach and such, is the same. So that's the difference between those two. We'll move on. And then, so step back in time, that, one is the religious and one is the non-religious, and there's like a $6 difference.
There's a whole thing on mining on that, one. Mining on the island.
Oh, okay, so this one,
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have mining, we just.
No.
okay,
Yeah.
so maybe that was the part of the addition, to, learn a little bit about the geology of, Milos. Okay, let's move on. Nostalgic Milos cruise, land and sea. And looks like there's a swimming opportunity, huh? You drive by coach to the south end of the island, passing the salt fields, and then you board a boat. And then maybe, what's the activity level on this?
They don't have an icon on this one.
Okay.
They have another fork.
Yep.
Love the fork.
Ah,
Must be food.
yep. And you go to a village, at the feet of the Venetian castle. I love it first sight, marble courtyard, rest, good panoramic view, and then there's a folklore museum. No wonder why it's idyllic, background, walk to the inlet. And it says, we may have to change the schedule and itinerary for this excursion without any warning, depending on weather conditions. Okay, so you don't get to cruise if the weather is choppy. Now, when something like this happens, your credit card will be credited back. If any of the tours that you've selected, they will make that announcement. They'll credit your credit card, and then they'll offer you another tour. So it, depending on the size of the boat that you're taking, but if this one runs, I bet it would be beautiful, because then you'd be able to see these rock formations from the water. So that seems pretty good. All right, let's move on. Now another beach tour, which,
More of a motor boat, isn't it? That takes you on the beach.
amazing beaches tour,
There are 17 beaches.
17 beaches. And I don't know that I even had a price on this one. Did you get it?
The price that says SOB, which I think.
Oh, that you have to, okay, and you have to get it on the boat here. And I'm sure that's, it has to do with the weather. So a 30-minute drive from the port, and then Islands Magazine has named one of these beaches one of the most beautiful, and and then you're gonna travel to 3 more beaches. So that's, I guess that is something that I know I didn't do, but to be able to see the island from the water, that would be really great. Okay, let's move on. A 4x4 adventure. What's the activity level here?
3, moderate.
A 3. Okay. Okay.
It is limited for 3 to 8 guests, it says.
3 to 8 guests limited. So if this is what you're interested in, I would sign up for it soon. But again, it looks like you're gonna get up close to some of the beautiful rock formations. And so our tour guide includes a short guided visit to the mining museum for outdoor experiences. And there's a chance to see the obsidian collection. Oh, okay. Oh. And then we will experience the abandoned salt fields and thermal waters. Oh, there's also a famous sulfur mine. So this is an exclusive tour with a maximum of 4 people in each vehicle. And it's a real sensory experience. You're going to smell the sulfur, and you're going to feel the sand under your 4x4. Okay, all right. Now there's sea kayaking if you're into that. What's the activity level there?
4.
4. Yes. and that's a little, that's $202. If you're into kayaking, this could be your jam here. Let's move on, because if you're into kayaking, you know you're into kayaking. Another food tour. What is the level on this one? Another. Oh, I think it's coming. Wow. All right. If the sample is gastronomy and a delightful, delicious combination. What are we? You're gonna have pizza and watermelon pie. And then a dessert made with honey, pumpkin, and almonds. This is a chance to experience the most mouth-watering delicacies of Milos and drop by some of the renowned restaurants on the island. Okay, that's the food tour. And then the last one, trek to the heart and soul of Milos. And what's the activity level? 4. This 6.2 kilometers.
Enjoy.
Yeah, and the maximum age of the members is 65. So.
And look at the list of disclaimers they have.
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay, I think that's, now, on Athens, you don't want to look at Athens because you will have already had Athens included on your other tour, so we don't even have to look at this one. So, now my instructions for you, if you have identified what you want and you want to fill out this form tonight and put how many people are doing each tour and fill this out. You can do this tonight. You don't have to do it tonight. You can mail it to the Blue Horizon office if you feel you can't make up your mind tonight. But if you can make up if you know what you want and you want me to take it tonight, I can do that. Are there some questions?
If you have anything shipped, is there something that you purchased that you shipped?
Okay, so I got my room in Istanbul. Are you guys going to Istanbul?
No.
Okay, but yes, they shipped it. The rug people in Kusadasi, they also shipped rugs. What I do when I travel is I pack a duffel bag inside of my suitcase. And that's how I get things home. Yeah. So the duffel bag is empty. I fill it up with books and treasures, and that's how I get all my stuff home. I think for this trip, we had 2 bags included. But even if you have to pay extra for the second bag, it's still going to be cheaper than shipping things home.
We're on Turkish Air,
Yeah,
so I think we do have the 2 bags.
yeah.
When it comes to the carpets, just going back, the carpet people, if you purchase a carpet, they will negotiate with you, and you need to say it has to ship free.
Absolutely.
And that's really what they do very well, and they kind of build it into negotiating it. And you just have to make sure. And I have purchased 2 carpets in Turkey over the years, and each one has arrived just fine. And they actually have you sign the back of the carpet that you saw with your signature, and when it's delivered, your signature is there, and it's not magic. Yeah.
And in my notes, I wrote, buy something with the evil eye,
Oh, yes.
a backgammon set,
Oh,
worry beads, and anything of olive wood.
yeah, olive wood, yeah. Yeah, go ahead, no, we're.
I have a question I wanted to ask for the entire group, especially since we have 3 people here who experienced this trip just last year. Can you 3 talk a bit about the tipping culture and what people should be preparing for tipping as far as our guide goes? Like,
And all of the meals, our tips were included.
Right.
And
And they don't tip like we do.
yeah,
They're not big into tips. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
I mean, they, Greece,
the guide.
Greece is on the euro. Now, Turkey is not, but it,
they're in the lira, the Turkish lira.
yeah, but they would accept a euro or dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
But typically the guides is what, about $10 a day is what we did. The drivers, because you'll have a different driver at each place, you give them $5, you know, at the end of the day.
And they really prefer American money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not this year.
Maybe not right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better
Yeah.
for us to have
Yeah.
Is feasible to bring.
I'm
So
sorry.
that you, how much you have, think, walking around, like cash on hand, you think you need to have so that you don't have to run around looking for currency?
I use credit card.
But not for tipping.
Oh, no.
Is that what you're asking?
Well,
I mean, I would say,
100?
for,
Right,
you know, for
Yeah,
tipping, you know, most of these tours are like a half day
yeah,
and, you know, you have prepaid for it and there is a €2 coin that I think for a half day tour is fine. If it's a really exceptional guide that it has helped you quite a
Yeah.
bit, then I'd use a €5 note. I don't think that I ever needed to tip anything over for.
was, I think, Dick or Michael.
Oh, when I left, I usually, I go to US Bank and I took out about the equivalent of €200.
Okay.
And then I asked for the smallest, bills. And, you know, they'll give you 20s, 10s, they won't give you any coins. If you end up with a 50, then that'd be the first bill that I would take into a store and,
Yeah.
you know, buy something and have them give you.
Here's the Turkish here.
Yeah.
Man on one side, woman on the other.
Yes,
so Michael, our Greek guide,
yes.
is he just with us for the land portion or is he going to be on the cruise?
No, he's just with us for the 4 days land portion. He is so knowledgeable, so accommodating that he will bend over backwards
Yeah,
to assist
Yeah.
you and make sure you're comfortable and your walker gets under the coach.
yeah.
My recommendation for him would be about 10.
That's like the $10 a
Yeah.
day. But it's gonna be one of those situations where you feel like it's not enough. He is so wonderful. Yeah, he put up with all my bad jokes. Like he sat with us every meal. And explained what we were eating. And most guides don't do that because that is supposed to be their break. And time away from us. So he was just truly great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we will have our own coach. And it will probably be a full-size air-conditioned
Yes.
coach so that with 26 of us, you know, if you want to spread out and have a seat to yourself, that, you know, that should be fine. I do like to reserve a couple of the front seats for 2 purposes. One, people with mobility issues so that we can get them on and off of the coach right away and that they're not trying to maneuver the narrow. But then there's also some people who have some motion sickness issues. And so that's why I think with this group, I would like the first two on each side. And we'll know who has motion sickness. And you don't want them in the back. Any other questions?
And I said.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube channel that I was watching called Cruisely that gives like tips where you can buy small metal hooks and you can hook them on the side of the wall and put all your hangable item shirts, caps, and get really organized.
We had hooks in our rooms.
Did you? It's
Yeah, I
got,
did.
like all kinds of things that I was like.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a great
there
idea.
were hooks. I had some laundry done.
Yeah.
Cause what, we were gone for almost 3 weeks.
Yes.
So yeah, there were, end of the day, like my laundry was hanging up on a hook in my room. Yeah,
Yeah.
So small.
yeah.
My sister-in-law has a crazy travel tip. She wears shirts that she will never wear again.
I've done that.
It just throws them away after the day. Just room in her bag.
Yeah, you remember how I took off my pants and I was wearing the worst pair of underwear? Those were underwear that was like gonna go, like be thrown out at the end of the day. So, yeah. I also use compression bags, so I'll throw in my dirty laundry and then so it gets super small. More room for books. I buy a lot of books. I shouldn't, but I do.
We go, it's a nonstop to Istanbul. And the flight, I think it's about 10 hours. I mean, we're going really far east. And then we arrive in Istanbul about 5:30 in the morning, Istanbul time. We've got 2 hours before. So, and they have really nice little bakeries and the airport is new, it's big. And they do have carts, and anybody that has a walking issue, we need to make sure that you get a cart because the flight for us, we arrived in the terminal, if my memory is right, is like U-shaped.
Yes.
And so we arrived in one and then we had to walk the whole U.
Yep.
But there are, well, on both, see, we're going through Istanbul both times. We don't have as much time on the way back, but they do have some amazing gift shops.
Duty-free shops.
Duty-free
Really
shops.
great.
Leaving from Athens tonight.
We leave from Athens, go to Istanbul, and then Istanbul direct to Chicago. Yeah, we go through Istanbul both. And Turkish Air is like a 5-star.
Yes. Yes.
And they have good leg room and comfortable seats.
We got little gift baggies with eye masks, slippers, little
Yeah,
toothbrush. Yeah. Yeah.
They do take good care
Yeah.
of you. And this will be, I mean, you are going to be in Ephesus and there's course opportunity to buy things in Kusadasi, but your last minute chance is, at the Istanbul airport.
Do you have the seats assigned? Or
Right now, I just got our air, and I haven't even looked at that yet. If you indicated something on your registration form, I will try to match it up, but I won't match it up. Actually, the tour operator will. But the tickets are issued. Yes.
When we leave on that.
Yes.
Your house that.
Actually, I'm going to ask you two because we used the same coach service when you went to Egypt.
Act 2.
So, yeah, Act 2. So could you explain where they should park and how that all works?
So yes, it's completely fine to park your car at the Putnam and leave it here if that is what you wish to do. When we did the Egypt trip, last year, most people had someone drop them off and pick them up. But if you need to leave your car here, you are welcome to leave your car in the Putnam parking lot. We will let the staff here know that there will be cars left here, if that's the case. And people can, keep an eye on things, and they know not to call a tow truck, but I don't think I've ever done that my entire time working here. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was a really great
So
experience.
they stopped, I live in Sterling, Illinois, and they made a special stop at the Culvers to pick me up. It was great.
Yeah, and on our way home from O'Hare, all of us were hungry
It
and
worked out.
yeah, we wanted American food, so we stopped at the Oasis and got McDonald's, and he was very gracious about it.
And we do have some people in Geneseo, and I think we could do the same thing, that if there's a, yes, yeah. And we'll talk about that, at the document meeting, but sure.
For that one, you don't need to tip the driver. It's usually
It's
included.
right, yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
and on the ship, we've already built in gratuities for the whole ship staff. So you don't have to tip the people on the ship either.
You suggest like, after a stay, I usually leave a little money for housekeeping. Do you suggest a housekeeping tip or that?
What we've included is like an overall gratuity that gets spread. I usually tip housekeepers because they make my bed every day and they take all my towels, and so, and you're gonna get to know your housekeeper, and they're gonna get to know your habits, and when you want to sleep late and when you don't. I think that's a good idea. Now, we've included a drink package for everyone, and that could be fancy coffees, it can be cocktails, wine. If there is a bartender that really knows your style and knows how to make the perfect drink, if you want to give them something, I know they'd appreciate that. But again, we have provided gratuities to get split with the whole crew.
That drink package was amazing. Yeah, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not.
Just a wine.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook.
The ship.
Like 5,000.
Oh,
No, like,
it holds like. Our ship is the exact same one that we were on last year. It was built by Holland America, and when it first went into service, I think it was primarily doing Alaska, trips back and forth. And then Celestial bought it and gutted a lot of it and put all new fixtures and carpeting and new beds, and they've really given it the Greek feel. And the other nice thing is that we will be able to have a special area in the dining room, the smoked olive. It's you don't have to eat with the group, but we found it was fun eating with the group, and so we had the same waiters that got to know us, and so we had like 3 long tables, and then just mix and match. But there is an opportunity if you want a special dining experience. You did that one night, didn't you? And was it a specialty restaurant or?
Yes, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was one off to the side.
A smaller
A smaller
restaurant? Yeah.
And it was a specialized one, and it was very good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're celebrating, a special occasion and you just want some privacy, or you're just tired of us, you know, that,
They had lobster. I wanted, my birthday was during the,
right?
and so I had lobster.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but you know, the thing about the group dinner was if you tried something and you didn't like it, which I don't think happened very often, but they would come with another dish for you.
Even if you said, oh, no, that's okay.
Yes, yes. I just, I went there one night, just kind of wanted dessert. No. No, but our servers, they were from Cairo.
Yeah.
So they were making sure we were all well fed. But, no, I mean, most of the dishes I had were really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, again, with this beverage package, there's a very nice lounge. You could
Yeah.
go, go there and have whatever you'd like. And then at dinner, if you want wine or beer or specialty coffee too, as
Well,
well.
and when you went to the entertainment at night, down.
Oh, yeah.
You could use your drink package for something that.
Yes.
Oh, she's got her card. So it's kind of like a.
If you would drink, it's great.
Yeah.
Can use it as much.
Uh, And you can take the glass back to your room. You can take it on the deck.
Oh, dress code was, I don't know that there was one, because you're on an island every day except the very first day. Some of us, we would come back from a tour, want to have a little drink, and then it was time for dinner. So I don't know that they're real, I mean, you're not supposed to wear shorts into the dining room, but you can wear jeans.
Yeah.
And just to remind everyone, we'll be there in the fall, so we're expecting high 60s, low 70s temperature. Don't expect it to be boiling hot like Greece is in the summer. We're getting the mild temperatures, so please keep in mind layering. And when you're on the cruise ship, of course, it's going to be a little more chilly. So maybe think about, a nice long sleeve shirt that you can layer over a t-shirt or a light jacket or something. I know a lot of people have been saying things about how hot it's going to be, but Greece is going to be pretty mild over there.
Is it still gonna be good for swimming for the part of the stuff we order?
When we were there in May, it was not hot enough for me to go swimming. Like,
And we're there primarily in October.
yeah. I will say this, even though it wasn't hot, that sun is really, really intense.
Yeah.
And especially like when you're by all that beautiful clear water. But I'm also very pale. So. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And sunscreen.
Yeah.
Lots of sunscreen.
Yeah.
Do we have any activities on the ship, like a tour through the
kitchen and stuff like
that?
They have some specialty ones.
Do they?
They have dancing, they have
Just
just
dance lessons. Oh, and
Yeah.
if you get up at early,
karaoke.
you can
not
do
do that.
yoga on the deck.
Yeah. I mean, they had really just about everything you can imagine. Yeah.
It's a little deal.
Oh, and if you're into massages,
Yeah.
pedicure, manicure. Yeah, okay, your question, your question?
When we dock,
Yeah.
okay, I know you said that there are a couple of them that will have to get the boats in. But otherwise, are we docked and we can kind of come on and off? as
Yes.
we leave?
Yes,
Okay.
there's only the two places that the ship they do not have a permanent, I guess,
Right.
harbor, and that's Santorini and Mykonos.
Just remember, when you get off the ship, to take your card
Yes.
with you, because they scan it. And that way they can account for who is on the ship and who's not on the ship. And, so that way you're not being left behind anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
And will the tenders have certain times that they'll be going back and forth?
Well, my memory of this was that when you were ready to take a tender, they'd have you go into a lounge. And then depending on your tours, they would call the tours and then the tender would fill up with the people on that particular tour. And then once the tours were gone, there are personnel there that if you're just, going without a tour, that's fine. And then but those will probably be the
15
last.
minutes. or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hardly anyway.
Time in the morning.
Hang on.
I think 8:30. I
Yeah,
think that's what I remembered, that just about all of them.
we had one that was at 7. I don't remember which one it was, but there was one that was really, other than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I've got 8:30, 9:15, 9:45 for some of the different.
And
tours.
when we're in Thessaloniki, I think that we really don't get there, we don't get off the ship until like 12:30.
Mhm.
So it really is, you have a full day at sea and then you have even that morning. Because if you look at your map to see where Athens is in Thessaloniki, that's a long haul.
Yeah.
But like you said at the beginning of the meeting, it'll be a well-earned rest after our 4-day land tour.
Yeah.
So it's, take that time to just relax, explore the ship if you want, but
Yeah.
rest up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a Turkish Air flight.
It's all Turkish.
Yeah, yeah. And then when we so we'll be arriving in Athens about, 8 in the morning. You will be close by. They're flying in the night before. And so our guide and coach and the Petrocellis will be there, and then we'll be ready to actually begin our land tour into the Peloponnese.
So when we're in Athens, we stay at one hotel the whole time.
When we first arrive, we are getting picked up, and our first night is in Nathlion. And then our second night is in Olympia. And then our 2 nights in Athens are at the same, at the same hotel.
Are you doing my snake? Oh. You will stand in the room where they planned the Trojan War.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Any other questions? I know this has been longer.
We're on the third train.
Yes, last road journey.
So 1260.
1260. So we were pretty good when we said 1200. Yeah, 1260.
They have blow dryer.
Yes, they have dryers. You are going to need a converter for charging your cell phones and such. And they may actually have what is that? The little USB port. There may be one. Yeah. So that you may
I
be
would get a universal adapter because the one in Greece is different from the one on the cruise, if I recall correctly. I think I might have had like a weird room. Yeah,
There was something different.
there was something different, right?
It's one that has a bunch of different attachments.
Yeah. It's $20 on Amazon if you get the universal one that has all 3. It's very compact. It pulls into itself. It has 2 USBs and 2 micro USBs and a regular plug. So that's my recommendation.
I got that one for the Egypt trip too.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
What's a micro USB?
it's like the smaller one.
It's
Yeah.
USB-C.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
the new iPhone.
Yeah.
Change it every.
Of course they do.
Absolutely, yeah,
It's becoming the universal plug.
yeah,
Is the C.
Yeah.
Because, you're required to go to one, so everyone's going to it, so.
so
And
now
that's what the
the
new
only
iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just got a new iPhone.
yeah.
Okay, and I know. Any other questions? And I know this went longer, but you had some good questions and we had some great experts here. All of them. Yeah. Oh, good.
Oh, and just a reminder for everyone, a lot of you have sent me your directory info. Remember, that is phone, the cell phone you're planning to use while we're traveling, if you are planning to use one. And then a few interesting facts about yourself. A lot of you have already sent it, but anyone who hasn't, please remember to send that to me. If you would prefer I take your photo tonight and you want to fill it out by hand tonight, I can do that. I can take your photo right now and have you fill out a form if you don't want to email it. Okay?
Okay, you're
Pardon me.
And we just are filled out.
Yep, give it to me, thank you.
This is.
Oh, give it to her, yeah, that's right. The half sheets go to Nora, the completed sheets go to me, thank
And you
you,
got the other two of them I gave you.
thank you.
You want me to put mine are two separate ones? You want me to put my name on both of them, just so they.
Yeah,
Just in
yeah.
case they get separated.
Oh, I know, they're not. Yeah. And if you have-
I'll make some.
And you
up for
can
you.
There we go. Now our names.
Okay, good.
Thanks. We're excited.
I'm sure I will be checking in with you, but right now. She's my PT.
Oh.
Well, she- Oh, Nancy, oh, that's right, Nancy's, okay. All right. Your input was really important, thank you.
I mean,
I love the fact that that's there. When you're not gonna get her, no.
I did bring my notebook, but that notebook is the one that I don't prepare. That's about everything. No, that is. No, that's everything in there. There's, I was telling her, like, I have one for the field where I'm taking down like history notes, but then I have like the journal for the day and just the everything. Yeah.
It's,
Oh, my God. I want to go back.
you know, when I was working on. Just. Hey, you all right? I did everything.
Those towels.
It.
Yeah, I say that they.
You don't have to. Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
But when you're a favorite guy. Yeah.
Yeah, we. Painted really hot, which. Pale, well, much pale as this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. And they were just. Yeah, people make.
It felt like a shame to have you like sleep in there. It's like you're missing the. So you.
So they're a couple.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like the newlyweds, even though they're not.
Oh, my gosh. It's very much like, wow, it should have been funny. Like.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was designed, as I was designing it, to try to do the best that we can do in Morocco. And the accommodations and guide, oh my gosh.
Beach and I, we are really in with each other every other week. Yeah. No, it's just. You know. It's like. Oh, he was so great.
And that can. It makes it.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And he actually wrote a book
He did, yeah.
about you know, how to safely travel Morocco and must do. And, you know, I don't know where mine went.
I have.
You know, I bought it, I read it.
And it's.
Yeah. No, it's, he asked me like a question about business, say, or something that I was happening with. And then I asked him a question about like.
Well, that's, I would love to work with him again.
Absolutely.
I gotta figure out.
Yes, he's like, when are you going to bed? So he and I, when we were in the Sahara after dinner, like, he and I had a really fantastic conversation because I was like, well, sure. And I'm currently, I'm looking to an art director. So he was just like, you got a great job now. You gotta.
We're getting dollars.
Great advice, and that's, you know, and that's reaffirmed my idea to do this.
That's exactly how it rolls.
Yeah. I mean, the builders really, I just put in, and I just.
That all the students that are. You know, they think that this school is right. It's like they're not, no, and they're not, they don't realize that there is a curriculum that's tied with the speakers.
You know, you were saying,
You know, like. So that's.
they don't like the places that I travel.
feel like you really need to build and invest in that too, because.
Because. Yes. No. It's got to be an adult.
Yeah.
90% of it is. And I do feel in the.
So the next.
We just stop on this about that. Well, I mean, a good thing. Right.
And you can do the regular week.
That was kind of very.
And my emphasis is,
And
is.
Did she give you a form? Did you give her a form?
Okay, I'm sorry. That's our name. Let's see. Norma. Dan. Yeah. Thanks. Shoot, you done your renewal, and so,
Yeah.
well, they issued your ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, they issued your ticket, you know, I think using, because your other one at least was still current.
Yes.
But as soon as we,
As soon as that comes in, I'm gonna fly.
and Scotland was wonderful.
Yes.
You didn't have to have it to go to Scotland.
We did.
Oh, I did, but see, I couldn't renew my passport really to give to Linda.
Oh, I had.
Because I had to use it for Scotland.
Sure.
I'd give it up and then I'd be like, I see.
Your passport.
But there's a
But you
caveat.
have to.
But you have to. I want you to have that. Exactly.